It's Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che.
What's up, everybody? A new study finds that 11% of American adults are afraid of the dark, especially if that dark is behind them at the ATM.
A new poll shows that 75% of LGBTQ voters support Joe Biden, but 0% of them support Joe Biden guessing what the B, T, and Q stand for. A restaurant in Texas has created a controversy by putting pictures of Bruce Jenner on the men's room door and Caitlyn Jenner on the women's room door. Even worse, they called the handicap door Rob.
Yeah. No, you can't do that, Joe. You can't do that. You can't do that on TV. Woof. Residents in Rome are upset after a wild boar and her 6 piglets were killed on a playground near the Vatican. But it's like they say, nothing good ever happens on a playground near the Vatican. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
DC Comics announced that the new Superman will be bisexual. Yes, they also announced that the Riddler has always been down for whatever. It was announced that Pope Francis will visit New York City in September and hold a mass in Madison Square Garden, because the Pope always tries to go where people are suffering the most. This is fun. A Canadian woman was fined more than $25,000 for illegally importing bull semen. Meanwhile, in the U.S., bull semen is sold legally under the name White Claw. Ohio State University reported that a massage therapist, reported that a massage therapist had sex with at least 5 of their football players. This story was first reported in a pitch to high school recruits.
Police are being investigated after video surfaced of them using excessive force on a homeless black man accused of urinating in public. But I say great work keeping our streets clean, boys. Yes, sir. Anything the police do is all right with old Mikey Che.
A new law has been passed in California requiring companies to have more diversity in their board of directors, which is how I forced my way onto the board of BET. BET. There's going to be some changes around here. Military officials have announced that they will increase missions to train, advise, and assist troops in the African nation of Niger. The focus on Niger is viewed as a direct challenge to President Trump's autocorrect.
Tom Cruise was recorded on the set of the new Mission Impossible movie yelling at the crew for violating COVID restrictions. Apparently, the crew was using camera tricks to make it appear like they were separated by 6 feet, when in reality it was closer to 5'4". Orthodox Jewish leaders in New York City lashed out at a newly imposed coronavirus restriction in their neighborhoods by setting fires and burning masks. And it's a miracle because the masks burned for 8 nights.
Come on, dude.
That's a good one. Come on. Stop it. Stop it.
Sizzler restaurants have announced that as a result of the impact from COVID, they are filing for bankruptcy, which is probably a good idea since the Sizzler buffet is the closest thing America has to a Wuhan wet market.
Yankees legend Whitey Ford died this week at the age of 91. Ford reminds us of a simpler time when you could just name your kid Whitey.
It is dark.
A new Justice Department report claims that the American DEA agents in Colombia participated in sex parties with prostitutes hired by drug cartels. In response to this incredibly irresponsible behavior, the agents have been promoted to Secret Service.
Hey, Batman turns 80 years old this month, which explains his new arch nemesis, Jamaican Nurse.
Apple announced that after 20 years, it will stop production of its iPod Touch because Apple products become obsolete once they're older than the kids who make them. The Boy Scouts of America agreed this week to allow girls into their organization, because somebody's got to sew those badges on. Now, again, these jokes are offensive, and that's why we won't tell them on air.
Mattel is releasing a Helen Keller Barbie doll. Just remember not to let her drive the Barbie Corvette. Prince Andrew, who faces charges of sexual abuse, has been stripped of his royal duties by Queen Elizabeth. It's an unprecedented case of an adult stripping Prince Andrew. A group of people in England are organizing a Star Wars-themed orgy, which is just an orgy where you find out the guy in the mask is actually your father.
Scientists have discovered a new species of jellyfish with a transient anus that appears only when it needs to expel waste and on its husband's birthday. A new report shows that the best place in the world for young girls to live is Sweden, while the worst place for young girls to live is on your hard drive. I said worst place.
Yeah.
Queen Elizabeth made a surprise public appearance this week at the opening of a new train line in London after Prince Charles tied her to the tracks. It's not real.
There are a growing number of nuns who are joining TikTok to show what life in a convent is really like. Because when the Catholic Church tries to connect with young people, it always goes well.
It's Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che.